How you doing, James?
I'm all right, mate. How are you? You all right?
All right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right.
Good stuff.
What you
Good
up to?
stuff. I've just finished me tea, and I'm just gonna sit for an hour with your good self and roast some people. So it'd be good, wouldn't
Good man, good man.
it?
Uh, a lot's gone on, James, since we last spoke in the sport of boxing. But how's your love life before we start?
My love life's all right, mate. I'm speaking to a young lady with quite sizable memories. You know what I mean?
Sizable what?
So mammary glands, titties. I'm just trying to be nice. Yeah, she's got
That's
a
a bit
big,
heavy,
big.
James, isn't it?
Well, yeah, her chest is, mate. I tell you. But
James.
I'm, ha- I'm happy enough. I'm just playing to the crowd. Everyone seems to be interested in me love life. I mean, I'm not I'm not taking it too seriously because they get a bit heavy, don't they? They do get a bit heavy.
Who
So
gets a bit heavy? Women.
yeah, the women, do you know what I mean? They see the rims and the remat wheelchair and they want it, don't they? They all want to park closer to Tesco. That's what it is because they got a blue badge, don't they? So they love it.
Right, okay, right. I don't know where to start really, so I think we'll start with the video I put out this morning. What is Big Malk's role now in boxing? Because I've had so much feedback in emails and comments. What's his role now? What do you think, James?
Well, I'd say he thinks of himself as a pundit, but he's not really, is he? I've not had a chance to watch your video from this morning, so I don't know what your views are, Ross. But he's a bit of a stirrer, and that's all he does. And a bit of a cheerleader for black fighters in particular. And I think he spends a lot of his time just wanting to curry favour with the alleged big boys, doesn't he? He wants a seat at the table that he lost when, Kinahan got in trouble. So that's all he is, cheerleading.
Well, what I'm looking at it from outside, I know that moves have been made by him to other people to get in with Saudi lot, but it doesn't appear that he's in the mix, does it?
No, because they can probably see him for what he is. Like they can probably see Hearn and Hills and Bricktop for what they are. Do you know what I mean? And they're gonna leave them trailing in their wake in a couple of years when they've set up this new league. So why would they want to? Now they've sort of made the announcement. Why would they want to invite someone like that in who adds no value whatsoever to their business?
Yeah, it's a shame to see, people like Big Malk and Super Bean. They're hanging around like bad smells. Super Bean's obviously trying to work his ticket with Talksport. I think Simon Jordan thinks he's the head honcho there, and I think Super Bean's trying to work an angle in there. But weren't Super Bean going for fresh challenges away from boxing when he left Sky?
Allegedly, yeah. And I
Allegedly.
mean, yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? It is bizarre. I was thinking about this the other day when I seen him on the Talk Sport, and I was thinking to myself, I remember something that you mentioned a while ago. Why was there no fanfare when he left Sky? Because he had years and years and years, and all right, we know what we saying
29
here.
year at Sky and no send off.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
The
You
man
know,
had cancer, and the man had cancer, and he beat it, but no send off, no nothing. Why is he not back in his job there?
no, exactly. I mean, even if he wasn't back in his job, you'd acknowledge him at least, wouldn't you?
They've not acknowledged him because the story's a pony, absolute
Yeah.
pony macaroni. And that's
Hmm.
what this is. Born liars trying to cover their arses and all them around them. They all know, but well, it is what it is. Anyway, what do you think to Super Bean and superhuman juggiers coming out with Anthony Joshua deserves a world title shot if he gets offered the vacant WBO against Parker in the Stinkinator rematch? What do you think to that, James?
What I think to that is it's obvious from Juggy, isn't it? Because he's a Finchley rim job man. He'll do anything to anybody from there. And Adam Smith, you just said he wants his slice of the pie, doesn't he? He wants to curry favour with Eddie Hearn again. He's got his feet under the table at DAZN. What happened to Mike? What's he called? The geezer from the BBC. I bet his nose
Costello,
has been.
Mike
Yeah,
Costello.
Costello. I mean, I didn't really rate him to be honest as a television commentator, but your nose must be put out of joint, mustn't it? If he's come back from wherever he's come back from, allegedly because of gambling issues, and just unseated you at the top of the table, is a bit of a piss take, isn't it? It's all this about money and just wanting to be part of the big boys club.
Well, what I've noticed in the last 3 days is this: Super Juggiers and Super Bean have gone into bat for everything Finchley. Right?
Mm,
Joshua, Derek Chisora, and now with today they've gone into bat for Daddy Don Charles.
yeah,
Hey, so
yeah.
what is this? Is it just one big bias media that are doing currying favors for the Powells, or are they going to start telling the truth? Because Don Charles has done interview after interview after interview in the last couple of days. He's playing a game, a show and tell. He's telling us
Yeah.
everything, but he's showing us nothing. He's
No,
told us
and
nothing whatsoever. All he's going on about is, oh, how he's doing this and doing that for Garner or whatever, some other, whatever. If he is, good luck to him, but we don't want to hear about that. What we want to hear about is why you pulled that lad out that fight with 48 hours to go. When just
mhm.
before he were pulled out, he was stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet. And he was
Yeah, he
going to
looked.
rip Parker's head off. And then
Yeah,
all of a
he looked.
sudden, we've got Bricktop coming out, going on about antihistamines and this and that. You've told us nothing, Don, you brass. He's told
Well,
us nothing.
he's told us nothing, but I don't know if you're. I don't know if you'll agree here, Russ. But I watch a lot of psychology channels, particularly with serial killers and things like that. And one thing that you pick up from these psychologists that do these videos is when the story is far too long and too built up. Do you know what I mean? More often than not, it's full of lies, right? And
Yeah.
what I noticed from like they're trying to cover every single track and every single scenario. What I noticed from the Don Charles interview with Talksport, he was going on about just he must have gone on for about an hour. He makes me look short, like the way that I elaborate, and I just thought to myself, he's a bit suspect, this Don. You know what I mean? We don't need a paragraph. Give us a sentence.
I don't want to hear victim stories, playing victim from Daddy Don Charles. Look, he's not on 10%. He's on about, yeah, well, I lost my biggest ever wage that I would have got from this fight, but we had to think at fighter. I ain't
Mm.
buying that. Trainers like him, mercenaries, they don't care for fighter, they care for their slice of cake. He's been overruled, right? They pulled that lad out because something's gone on, and I want to know about it. Now that's why they didn't bring John Coffey in to do interview because he'd get
Yeah,
tied
of
in knots with wrong person. That's all.
course he would.
So the wheeling Bricktop out and the wheeled Daddy John Charles out, who's a brass. Chisora sacked him 6 times and he kept taking Chisora back.
Yeah,
What's
and
all that
also,
about? When he won't pay
I,
it.
I, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the interview as well, Ross, but the amount of times he kept saying the dad, the dad, the dad, in reference to Standard War, it's like you're trying to push it onto someone else, so you come out like dead clean and all that. I just think there's a lot of the story's too long, and there's no seeming responsibility from him. He's the head of the training team, isn't he? So he
Yeah.
should make the final call. He blamed Bricktop and he's blamed Standard War for pulling out Daniel. You're the man. You're taking the cut. You're supposed to have the final say, surely.
Yeah. Well, this is how I look at it. The story's there, but nobody wants to push it because it's a Bricktop fighter. We're all scared to death. It's like Bricktop rules with an iron fist. If I had Bricktop here now, I'd say, listen, I don't believe a word you're saying. Why would you pull a guy out of a heavyweight title fight on the biggest show of the year, getting his biggest ever purse, right? And risk yourself losing a lot of money
Yep.
For what? For something that just because he's not well? No, no, no.
Well,
He were bang on.
well,
48 hours to go. He were bang on.
yeah,
He were bang on,
yeah,
and he were
and
bang on when he were getting on the aeroplane.
yeah.
Right? The making out is at death's door. I ain't buying it, mate.
Well,
I
that
don't
was
listen to
that.
that rubbish.
That was the thing, though. Don Charles has sort of let slip there because he even turned around and said the doctor didn't actually say you mustn't fight. He recommended that he not fight. So if he was that bad, the doctor would. The doctor would be forced to say, right, 100%, he's not fighting. He wouldn't make a recommendation and then leave it up to the team. Something's gone on. It absolutely stinks.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, enough about the giant mute, John Coffey. Uh, Eggate, he got fined. Well, we're needing 100, 125, 150, whatever it is, it's six figures. Do you think it's a harsh fine, James?
Um, no, because of the amount of money they're making, and he's been pulled up in front of the board before, hasn't he, for comments he's made about Liam Smith and all that. And I might not think, it's necessarily a good thing being pulled up in front of the board, but he's got previous, and that's probably why they've come up to that figure. What I struggle to sort of get on board with is, you know, I'm sure you're going to ask the question, where's that money going? They're saying they put it back
Well, that's
into the
after.
sport. Yeah, and so they put it back into the sport. Well, let's see some receipts. Do you know what I mean? It's supposed
Yeah.
to be a public body, aren't you?
Well,
See
listen,
what
right, let me just say this. 100 grand, 125, 150, we've heard three different versions, whatever it is. So there's six figures. Gary Sykes' belt. Carl Johansson were a defence. Let's have that sorted. That's the first thing. Get a belt made, present it to Gary Sykes, admit your admin error, sign it off as he won the belt outright. Do the right thing, Robert Smith. That's the first thing. Second thing, drug issues in the sport. It's rife. Let's see heavy bans. Let's see bans for trainers as well, because no fighter's going to want to put a trainer in a bad position. It'll stop them taking it because they're going to think, well, I'm going to get my trainer at sack as well. Let's see
Mm.
that. Let's see a president set, and let's see some of these trainers sent down the road. Strength
Hmm.
and conditioners. Let's get them out of the sport. They don't know what they're doing. You only need your trainer. Muhammad Ali never had a strength and conditioner. You only
No.
need your trainer, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Fighters know how to train and how to do strength and conditioning. So let's get these people out at game, these nutrition men that are getting in fighters' ears, getting in their ear holes and up their arseholes probably, trying to give them
Yeah.
this edge, mental edges and this and that, blah, 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 by giving them stuff. Stop taking stuff. Stop it. Fighters back in the day in the 50s and 60s, they just ate clean. That were it. Get a bit of chicken down, a bit
Yeah.
of fish, bit of veg, loads of water, bit of
Yeah.
porridge. It's not rocket science, all trying to try supplements, this and that. It's all a load of pony. Do you know what I mean? Aaron Pryor never had any of that. Ray Leonard didn't bother with any of that.
Well, Aaron Pryor's a bad example, isn't he, Ross? Look at Panama Lewis and that mixed water bowl. Like, I wouldn't use him
Well,
as an
maybe, yeah,
example.
no, yeah. Well, it's yeah, but they said it was sparkling water, didn't they?
Well, they said it had antihistamines in it, so antihistamines open up your lungs and everything, don't they? But allegedly, well, that's what they were saying. Like Panama Lewis never admitted that, but a lot of people were like, "Yeah, that had antihistamines in, and that's why it opened up his lungs and he went out and
All right then.
smashed
Well,
him."
all right then, James. If you want to split hairs with me, well, let's go back to
Yeah,
fighters from 1920s that were fighting 25 rounds. They
yeah.
didn't take performance enhancing drugs or over the counter supplements. Just stop
No.
it all. Tell them they can't take anything and nothing. Just go back to food and vegetables and fish and porridge and
Mm.
just do it properly. Because in them days, like I just said, they fought for 20, 30 rounds and you know what I mean? So it can't get my head around it, but that needs sorting out.
Of
And they
course it
need
does.
to sort out some of these people that are hanging around the sport, these consultants, these sponsors, these sponsors that are in the sport getting in fighters' heroes, and like I've just said there, and up their arseholes. Because that's what you
Mm,
got. Whispering, people whispering in their ears. Fighters only need the trainer. That's all you need.
yep,
Ali only needed Angelo Dundee, didn't he?
yep,
You know?
exactly.
Marvin
No, I
Hagler
agree.
only needed Petrocellis, didn't he? Or whatever they
Yep,
were called. I forgot the name.
Petronellis.
Hey?
Petronellis. You were nearly
Petron,
there,
whatever they
but
were called, yeah. Well, he only needed them, didn't he, Hagler? He was knocking
yeah.
men out, wasn't he? He was the main man,
Uh-huh.
wasn't he?
Yep.
So, all right. Uh, this Joshua situation we've got now, it's done me head in this because he's looking for a fight. They're now talking, oh, he might have an injury and blah, blah, blah. Right. Where does he go now, him, James? Where does he go?
Well, he should go on the scrap heap because he got absolutely decimated, didn't he? But I did say a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? Look at the length of time Daniel Dubois is out, and we'll see how serious, the situation is, or we'll speculate on how serious the situation is. Now, you could argue that this silence from John Coffey is tantamount to him taking some naughty substances. So, Joshua could turn around in a few weeks or whenever this comes out and say, well, I got beat by a dirty fighter potentially. You know what I mean? So
Nobody wants to
he can.
talk about that, though, do they, at the moment?
No, they don't. They don't. And what's annoying me is they're spinning the narrative, particularly on Talksport, about does he deserve another shot at a world title and all that? No, he doesn't. He needs to fight his way back. He lost twice against Usyk. Usyk decided to give his crumbs to the paupers, and then he lost to the pauper. Why does he deserve a title shot? He doesn't.
Yeah,
Fight Ajit Kabayel. Beat Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's deserving, I believe.
yeah.
Fair play to him. He's going to get his shot, hopefully. Fight one of them, and then we can talk about it. But other than that, get off me TV.
Yeah, well, do you think that Fury's just gone on this massive bender with Rooney and that Fury's just going to let Joshua park Joshua up? Because it looks like they don't put Joshua near anybody now, do they? Unless it's Fury. Do you think? You think Fury might
Yeah,
be this so he can get a bigger payout against Joshua than Joshua?
possibly. I think we're hearing silence. Well, hearing silence is the wrong way to put it, isn't it? We're hearing nothing from Fury because Joshua hasn't made an announcement. He loves to steal Anthony Joshua's thunder. So
Soon
Twitter
as
will be,
Joshua comes out and says he's fighting whoever,
yep,
Jack Tyson will pipe up, won't he?
of course he will. What happened to the big announcement that he was going to make the other week?
Three
They
week
were
ago
talking
that
about
now, and we're still waiting, James.
it.
3 weeks.
Exactly. His ass is probably going. He's probably phoned him up and gone, come on, AJ, hurry up. Got thunder to
What I
consider.
want to know though, James, is this, right? What I want to know is where's Big John Fury, big fighting man, in the ring or on the yard? Pop, pop, bang. I'm a watch him from the moon. I live off the land.
He's hiding, isn't he? He's hiding from anybody that can pose any sort of physical threat towards him.
You
I'd be
know,
scared of the gad if I was John Fury. I
has
mean, he looks
Nicky
a bit
Theo
suspect.
or Joe Egan had a fight? Yeah, I thought they were fighting.
No, I don't think so.
You know what I
I
say to
don't think.
that? There's talkers and there's smoky bacon walkers. These big
Yeah,
fighting men have been at it 5 years, nobody's thrown a punch. John's been out of jail 10 years in August. He's headbutted a young kid who works in Usyk's corner, a middleweight, and he's
yeah,
give Asif Valley a 5'3", 11 stoner a slap. That's it.
yeah.
The big fighting man in the ring or on the hard road, £100,000 bare knucklers. The lives weren't worth living. Who were it? Who you fought, John? Bit life for me, I can't remember the man's name. Hey, John, when I
I'd
see you,
love
I'm
him
going to
to
give
come
you a
on.
big cuddle and a big kiss.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I can show you where he lives when he's in Salford. He lives in Salford, Russ. He lives in Eccles.
I'm not interested where he's from, mate. Only thing I'm bothered
Come,
about is not seeing him on YouTube ever again. But we will. He'll pipe up. I'm
of course, you will.
surprised they haven't piped up now to say that You know, that Usyk got lucky or something like that. He's gone into hiding. The man's running. The man's scared.
Don't you think the Saudis have sort of said to him, look, we've had our fill of you now. Tyson's not the world champion. Leave or we'll cut your hands off.
Well, look, this is how I look at it, right? This is how I look at it. He's been beat twice by Usyk. Very convincingly twice. Very
Mm,
convincingly, right? Now, anybody who says anything different, it's bias because we've the whole world's seen it. Everybody knows.
yep.
Bricktop can say what he wants. Do you know what I mean? But I look at it like this: when Hamzat Shiraz got that draw, anybody who gets a split decision loss, who's a Frank Warren fighter, or a mandatory decision loss, or a draw, he's screaming blue murder. Or if it's
Yeah.
115, 113, he comes out screaming, right?
Mhm.
They got that draw, Shiraz got a draw, and he's like, could have gone either way. That means he
Broke his
got
hand.
flogged. He got flogged.
Hmm.
He got flogged. And
Yep.
that's a good indicator. When his fighters get a draw and he doesn't send out, they had a touch. They kept that
Yeah.
kid's undefeated record, but they had a touch. They had it off.
Yep.
They absolutely swam the Atlantic, not the Channel, the Atlantic, mate, that night.
Twice now. Twice now.
Bradley
I'm
Ski,
interested. Well, yeah, I'm interested to because I can't remember who refed it, but I wonder who refed that fight. If you look back against Skeet, because if it was Marcus McDonnell, he might have got disqualified now, mightn't he, for doing what he did and hitting Skeet while he was on the floor.
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
the funny thing about it is this, right? Marcus McDonnell, hmm, where's he ranked now? Is he like the new Ian John Lewis? Hey,
yeah,
as the
John Lewis.
Calamity James?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey,
Well, yeah, he's up there with him, isn't he? Or down there with him, I should say. The board needs a clear out because you've still got Fat Tell judging fights, and he's got glaucoma by the looks of it. Like he just, what was the fight the other week that he scored? Was it Baluta? Didn't he score the fight for Baluta
are we on about
the
here?
other
Terry
week?
O'Connor.
Terry O'Connor, yeah.
I'm not keen on him because he shafted Hughie Fury when he fought Parker.
He shafted everyone. The only reason there's three judges now at English title fights is because of him.
You
Because
mean
he
the
screwed
John
over John
McDermott
McDermott.
Fury?
Yeah, because he got beat by his dad, didn't he? John
John
McDermott, the true.
McDermott beat Terry O'Connor in 1977, and then Terry O'Connor refereed John McDermott and against Fury, and he was the sole judge and referee on the night. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, you're correct. And now, after that fight, there's now three judges for English title fights because of that man, and he's still able to judge world title fights and high class title fights. Why?
Frank Maloney
What's he
had
got?
a heart attack on the ring apron that night. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, because of that result. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
absolute shocking. But Terry O'Connor, you remember when you used to flick my gold chain, didn't you, at Dennis's show? Remember what I said to you when I was sat with my mate Frank Smith in front of you? I turned around and I told you what you are, didn't I? And that was years ago, and you still got your nose in the trough as an A class, A star referee judge, whatever you are. You've still got your nose in the trough, just like the rest of them. You're a disease,
Mate,
and I'm
yep.
cure.
Makes you
Me.
think. Makes you think, doesn't it? What's he got on Robert Smith at all? Because it's not just sheer incompetence, is it? There's got to be some corruption there as well. Let's face
Listen,
it.
mate. We don't know what it is. You never get round to it, but you never get to the bottom of it with this shower, right? It's corruption or incompetence, but it's what we don't know that's going on. You see where I'm coming from? And that's why I'm going
Yeah,
to go through the gears like Usyk with my channel in the next few months. I'm just going to go at them all of them. I'm only just getting warmed up.
well, we're coming with you, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got full
Well,
commission. The commission is stronger than ever now, and I'm going full steam ahead.
Yeah, I know how much you love me and all, Russ, because you told Andy the other day,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah. You're a good lad, you, James. We remapped wheelchair.
Thank you, mate. So are you.
Uh, right. This Eubank Ben carry on, right? What do you think to the Piers Morgan BS and the whole stigma around it? How they said there were 220, Eddie said there's 220,000 queuing to get tickets. Right, this is what they said. This is how crazy this is, right? How come there's thousands of tickets for sale? But there's 220,000 queuing for tickets. It weren't. It
Mm.
weren't because I had a look and you can get on there anytime. So it's all pony. What do you make of it?
If it was that big, it wouldn't be fault at Tottenham Hotspur. They would have booked Wembley straight away. It's a load of shit, mate. Eubank and Ben, like now, right? If Eubank and Ben Senior announced a third fight a couple of years ago, they could have sold Wembley out, and they're past their prime. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, if it was as big as they were saying it is, you'd book the biggest stadium in Britain, wouldn't you? The
Yeah.
whole, yeah, the whole show the other day, and I was on with Bob on Bob's channel, and what annoyed me was Ben coming out and going, "I've been cleared 3 times. I've been cleared by the WBC." But the thing is, with the WBC clearance, you denied that you had eggs. You denied that you ingested eggs, and that was the reason. So you can't then claim after denying that you were, that was the reason. You can't then claim that they cleared you because you're admitting the truth. If that's the case, I don't know. He ain't got his story straight. He's not as clever as he should be for a lad who was a privately educated little gangster wannabe from Spain or wherever he is. Like, just ridiculous. Um, big up to Chris Eubank. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn's in overdrive as well, and he old Eddie Hills saying, "Oh, this is two world class fighters." And I posted on a video the other day. I just put Eddie Hearn, fuck off. Like, they're not world class. Chris Eubank's not world class. He lost world title fights. So if he's not world class, what does that make Conor Ben? Shower of shit.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to get my chest later.
Yeah.
Hmm. We're having these chess
Hello.
tournaments.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
is that your good lady, Ross? Is it? Say
yeah,
hello
2-1
from.
down, aren't
Oh, are you? Right, okay.
I? I've played since school.
I can only play drafts, mate. Don't get me on chess. I'll start crying.
Yeah. Well, you see, thing is, you see, I'm competitive and she is, and it can get out of hand. I can assure
Right.
you, but it is what it is. Eddie's £1 million bet. Eubank's off now. Apparently, they've all had emails off the board or something, haven't they?
It was never on, was it?
No, listen, listen, right. They can't lie straight in bed, right? It's
Hmm.
all designed to get you pay-per-view. The egg is a load of rubbish. Egggate, so it's a raw egg. Look, it's rubbish. They've got to sell the fight. Now they're talking
Hmm.
£1 million bets. It's a load of pony. And they're saying board are getting strict and the board are not putting any rubbish. Well, if the board are getting strict, why aren't they fining Eddie Hills for pushing Ben Shalom? Because that's assaulting, isn't that common assault? Why aren't they coming
Oh,
down
yeah.
on Eddie?
Yeah, of course. Why are they not? Why haven't we had more to do with the Dennis McCann situation? Why is there no upfront honesty on, drug bans and stuff like that? Why do we sit here speculating on silent bans constantly? That's how straight down the line the board are. Not at all.
Why ain't any YouTubers putting it on Bricktop regarding Dennis McCann? He was supposed to be the next big thing, wasn't he, at that weight? Why ain't nobody putting it on him about that?
Because you don't bite the hand that feeds you. This is the problem. There's no independent YouTube media, is there? They're all reliant on everybody else, like paying their wages and views. Views mean money. And if Eddie Hills and Bricktop they ban them, they've got nowhere to go, have they? So that's why.
Exactly. Do you want to go on to part two, James?
Yes, mate. I'll see you in a bit.
I'll see you on part two. 2 minutes
All right.
ago. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Please join us on part 2.